So in this demonstration, as mentioned in the email and in the SMS communication, I will try to cover the end-to-end how the software works and how you'll be able to initiate a case right from the moment you receive a request from the banker, and how the case moves to various stages, and how it will help you manage the end-to-end valuation process in the software. So before I take you through the platform, I would be 5 minutes approximately to explain what are the various packages and what are the solutions available in these various packages, and then move to the platform. And for today's demonstration, I'll try to focus on the first two variants of the of our platforms, which is Essential and Enthusiast platforms. These two platforms I'll try to demonstrate, and I'll show how the what is the difference between Essential and Enthusiast. Uh, so uh, at Evalo, we have two sections. One is a web application and the other one is a mobile application. So web application is primarily meant for the backend teams, which is could be a coordinator, could be a data entry operator, could be at your own level as a reviewer, and a person who manages, who tracks basically the MIS coordinator, or who wants to take printouts, runner boy, or anybody who is working from the office, they'll be using the web application. And the mobile application is primarily meant for the site engineers who go to the site, who capture the property details, take property pictures, coordinates, and things like that. So in mobile application, we have two different variants. One is a basic application, which is a very simple application. They will just be able to, it is very easy to use. They'll be able to capture the property pictures and location coordinates and everything. Rest of the things, the field engineer will write it on their data sheet. I'm sure every valuation firm has their own formats of you capturing the property details of the data sheet, and they can upload it. So quite a lot of valuation firms have told us that I don't want to load too much work on the site engineer. It has to be very simple, but I just want the whatever details which are captured by the site engineer to reach the office as soon as possible, right? So in that case, a basic mobile application will help you, instead of otherwise they capture property pictures and either send it over WhatsApp or email, or they come all the way back to the office and hand it over to the data entry operator. There's a lot of time which gets consumed, and a lot of pictures gets lost in your WhatsApp groups or emails. So from that perspective, the basic application will be a best solution for you to primarily manage the site visit in a very simplistic and easiest way. Right? When it comes to dynamic application, there are a lot of firms, of course, on top of collecting the property details which was observed by the site engineer from the site. I also want few more details which the site engineer is capturing has to directly go into the application, so that those information also gets fed into the report directly. So which means whatever information which is directly fed by the site engineer on the dynamic application, these values, if they are available in the respective report formats as specified by the bank, those values will get auto-populated in the report itself. So the work on the data entry operator gets reduced. Right. On top of that, you will, whenever they're coming across any historical, I'm sorry, any sale transactions around that specific geography, on the mobile application, on the dynamic mobile application, they'll be able to capture those details. Also, it can so happen that the most of the time the tasks are assigned from your back office, the site engineer. In some cases, the banker directly calls the site engineer and gives the new requirement. So the field engineer will at his level itself, from the mobile application, he'll be able to create that case. So these are the two different variants of the mobile application. When it comes to the web application, web version, there are three different variants. One is the essential, the other one is the enthusiast, and the top one is the exquisite variant. Essential variant is the base variant, of course, but it automates and manages the whole entire process of your valuation business, right from initiating to assigning the case to the site engineer, to the data entry op, then which comes to the data entry operator, and then to the reviewer and approval. What essential platform will solve is majorly on the site visit management and your data storage. Each and every valuation records get stored in your own Google Drives. So our quite a lot of customers have who have implemented essential primarily have major issues or they're losing a lot of time in getting the details from the site to the data to the back office. So they once they implemented essential in their valuation firms, they have actually seen huge amount of time saving. They have actually seen about 30 to 40% reduction in tax and organizing all those data reports, all your sale leads, property documents, and valuation comparable database, everything gets created in Essential platform. What Enthusiast will help you do that is on top of whatever Essential is addressing, quite a lot of valuation firms when the slightly the volumes are higher or they need some support in terms of a report preparation also in the respective formats. Enthusiast will be a very good best fit for you because we have close to about 550 different bank formats addressing close to about some 108 different financial institutions across the country. Their respective formats are available in the software. So once the data comes from the site engineer's mobile application, it will get assigned to the field site data entry operator, and the data entry operator will be able to prepare the reports on the software itself. They just type the data in the respective fields of the report format, and they'll be able to generate the PDF reports. We have also integrated digital signature, which is eMudra in this Enthusiast and Exquisite package. If your bankers are okay with accepting digital documents, you'll be able to generate digital reports and send it across to the clients over an email. So the major difference between Essential and Enthusiast is in Essential, everything is automated. Still, you have the flexibility to prepare the reports outside the software using your Excel and Word templates. In Enthusiast, whatever is available in Essential is also available, plus your report preparation in the respective report formats as mentioned by the bankers, you'll be able to generate those reports. So for this purpose of this today's demo, I'll focus primarily on Essential and Enthusiast. And if time permits, I'll try to touch upon some of the features of the Exquisite platform also. With this brief introduction, I'll move to the demonstration of the platform, and then I'll come back and again explain how it will help you in terms of monetary benefits or in terms of how it will improve on the tax, and then come to the pricing of these two platforms. Subsequently, I can take up your questions. So I'm moving to the platform. So the platform, what you are actually, just give me a moment. I'm sorry. The platform, what you're seeing is actually the Enthusiast platform, which is the mid variant. There is only a very slight difference between Essential and Enthusiast when it comes to report preparation. I'll show it you till that time. Till that stage, it is more or less the user experience and the interface will look more or less the same. So this is the first stage of the process where you initiate a new case. Let's say the list of all your banks which you have empaneled with, you will be able to add those uh, clients' names from your admin panel. Let's say I'm creating a case of SBI, right? And the respective branch and the branch employee name and the borrower name. If there are multiple borrowers, you will be able to add those multiple borrower details, type of property, nature of loan, mobile number of the borrower, and the address. While you capture the actual address of the property, prior to do that, if you can just capture the nearest landmark of the around the property, it will actually automatically pick up the latitude, longitude of the landmark of the property. Once you capture the latitude, longitude of the landmark, you can go ahead and complete the type in the complete address of the property. Why we are capturing the landmark of the property is that it will help the field engineer, the mobile application will actually help the field engineer to reach the landmark using the Google Maps. I'll show it you how it will help with the mobile when I'm demonstrating the mobile application. Once we initiate a case, the system will run a dedupe functionality. It will try to, if there are any matches, if you have done valuation for the same property, or if there is a match by the loan number, or if there is a match by a mobile number of the applicant, all those matches will show up. So which means if you have already done the valuation for of the same property for a different bank, you can go ahead and check them, right? So we have initiated this case for there's a match of by mobile number of the applicant, right? But the address is not the same, right? So we have to do this valuation as a fresh case. But in case if the address was also matching, you will be able to go ahead and download whatever property pictures, site details, whatever visit details which happened from the past. You'll be able to download them and consume those data. Since the property address is not matching, I'm moving ahead and assigning it to a fresh site visit, right? Once we do this, you can actually, there is a provision for you to upload the property documents related to the property. You can choose to share this property document either with the site engineer or not. Between by choosing yes and no, you can choose to either you want to share the property document to the site engineer or not. So once you initiate this case, once again the dedupe feature will run and the case will get initiated. So moment a case gets initiated, you will have a unique reference number which will get generated in the software. This can be used for your later on references purposes. Right? So once we initiate the case, we now go to assign the case now, right? So this is the, let's say, assign cases. So this is the case which I have created now. There are two ways of one assigning to this particular case to the field engineer. One by the drop down list. Here, all the field engineers of your firm will can be added from the admin panel. They will appear here, or you will also be able to assign it from the map view. So the advantage of map view is you will exactly know where your field engineers are and where the properties are. This is a trial account, so we don't see many live cases. So let's say if I go to Chennai, there are quite a few field engineers. Basically, my team's residential addresses. Their residential address locations should be marked on the map, and let's say if there is any property which is coming nearby, I mean around here, this you will know this engineer is closer to this particular property. You can assign it to that engineer. So it basically helps you manage and easily assign the cases to the field engineer. Otherwise, we'll have to plot, segregate the properties according to the geography, and then you physically assign the cases to the field engineer. So the system helps you do that much easier, right? So by choosing this, you can assign to the specific engineer, right? So now that we have assigned the case to the field engineer, I'll stop sharing of the web application and I'll start sharing my mobile application. Just give me a moment. I hope you can see my screen. So actually, right, so there were no, I'm using a dynamic application now. I'm showing you the dynamic application. There are no cases which were assigned for this particular user. The previous valuation which I assigned to was a different user. So as I was telling you, there is a possibility that there are two ways of assigning the case to the field engineer. One, from the web application, it gets assigned, and whatever cases which gets assigned to the field engineer will appear on this list view. There is also possibility for the field engineer to create the case by himself. Once he clicks on the create case, let's say he has received a call from the branch manager, and the branch manager has given the name and a mobile number of the borrower and some further basic details. He can actually come and create this click on this create case, and he will be able to upload the cases, capture the case details from here, right? um, there is a bank name, there is actually branch name. He'll be able to type in the branch employee name, job of your branch. If you have multiple branches, those branches will also appear here. You will be able to type in the borrower name, uh, contact number of the borrower, whichever the branch manager has actually given to the site engineer. If there is any specific landmark, he will be able to type in those things. And the nature of property, document type. Once everything is captured and he goes ahead and submits the details, it should be actually a drop down. Just give me a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm going ahead and typing the details. Borrower name, contact number, landmark, nature of the property, and keeping it as vacant land. If there is any sale document or something like that, they'll be able to take a picture of the document and upload it. Yeah, it's got added now. You'll be able to create the case. Once the case is created, this will appear on the list view. I'll go ahead and open the details. So if on the screen, you will be able to see a call customer option, which is basically the site engineer will be able to call the borrower from the mobile application itself. And the route map will basically take you to the nearest landmark of the property location. The call office is an option where you want your field engineer to call any team leader or back office team for any further support. They'll be able to make a call from here itself. So whatever documents which were shared with the field engineer, they'll be able to open it from here. And once they reach the property and they've completed the site visit, they can just go ahead and give a thumbs up and move on. Let's say if they were not able to visit the site because of various reasons, those reasons will also be able to capture whether the customer has postponed or customer was not reachable, property not identified, loan cancelled by the customer, or could not able to visit. All these options, they can just select if it is getting postponed by the borrower, to which date it got postponed. he'll be able to fill those details and confirm it, right? Or for now, being the demo, I'm just moving ahead and completing the site visit. You can choose the property type, the income class of the property, and road alignment of the property. So the version of the mobile application, what you're seeing is the dynamic application. I'll show you what will be the difference between dynamic application and the basic application. The screen which you're seeing now is also available for both dynamic and basic application. The field engineer will be able to drag slightly and place it to the exact property location. This is how he'll be able to capture the latitude, longitude of the property location. So this is the screen which you are now seeing, which is locality and neighborhood, and the next screen which is related to observation related to the property. These two screens are exclusively meant for, will be available in the dynamic application. This will not be available in the basic application. So as I was telling you, all these fields related to locality and neighborhood and observations, you will be able to add as many number of fields as per your requirement from the admin panel, and the field engineer will be able to directly feed these information from the mobile application, right? So all these values which gets fed on the mobile application by the field engineer will get mapped to the report directly. The data entry operator need not again type it once again, right? Having said that, with respect to these two categories, it has been already brought into the application. However, they will still have to capture the property measurement details and other things like setbacks and other details on the data sheet and upload it into the mobile application. So, which the data entry operator will be able to go through and prepare the reports accordingly. We are also working on bringing those fields also into the mobile application. Shortly, those fields will also come into the application. I'm just going ahead and filling these details. I have only selected very few fields. There are a whole lot of fields related to these two categories. From the admin panel, you will be able to enable those fields. There is also possibility for you to make certain fields mandatory, and if you don't want them to be non-mandatory, that's also perfectly fine. You will be able to make those changes. The complete control is with you. I know some of the fields are actually repeating. I think there's a mistake. I'll have to delete these fields. You will also be able to delete or add fields as per your requirement. And you can also change the value of the drop downs if these drop downs, which are already mentioned in the software, if these are not relevant for your geography, you will, from the admin panel, you can actually change these values yourself, right? And from once these two fields, which are screens, which are related to your observation and locality of the property, we come to the screen. So except for those two screens, which are meant for dynamic application, the rest of the screens, what you're seeing is actually will be available on the basic application also. So once they come here, these three pictures, selfie, elevation, and road image, these three images has to be captured from the mobile application by the site engineer, just to ensure you want to be sure that the site engineer, he himself has gone to the site and he has taken the property pictures. So to ensure that, we have enabled those four pictures to be collected from the application directly. The rest of the pictures, they will be able to, which are basically interior images, all those things, they'll be able to upload it from the gallery. Once they take pictures from their phone, they'll be able to upload it from the gallery. So as I was mentioning, the rest of the details, you will still have a data sheet format. The field engineer will be writing them on the data sheet format, and they'll be able to upload the data sheet from here. What we've also introduced now is if the field engineer is a new engineer who is getting trained, you want to be sure that he's observed the right property and he's brought in all the details. There we have actually given a provision for him to capture the video. So he will be able to capture the property video and upload the video, right? So once he uploads this video, you will be able to see it at your level. And on top of that, he will also be able to upload the remaining interior pictures and from his gallery, right? If on top of video and other observations, we've also provided a voice memo feature. If he wants to give any instructions in his own language to the data entry operator or anything which is something abnormal which he has noticed, he will be able to upload, capture it as a voice memo, and that can also be uploaded into the application. Let's say if he has collected any property document from the borrower at the site, he'll be able to upload that document from here. So once he's done with the site visit, as he moves forward, he will of course be looking out for sale instances around that area. If he is coming across any sale instances, those sale instances can be captured from here. Yeah, of course, he can place this thing to the approximately to the nearest property and capture the latitude, longitude, and he can choose the type of property and what is the extent of property and how much is the rate of this property and what is the source of this sale instance, whether it is from a broker, his name, his mobile number, and if there is any sale transaction details that can also be captured. If there is any property picture he can actually take, he will also be able to take the property picture of the corresponding sale instance of the property, and he will be able to add it here. So once the data property picture gets uploaded, he'll be able to go ahead and submit it. The sale comparable is actually not a mandatory one. If at all he's coming across any sale comparable instances, he will be able to also upload it as a into the data. So what happens is over a period of time, you start building your own sale comparable instance data, right? Once it is done, you will there's a provision for him to give his feedback whether the site is a positive one or a negative one, or he cannot decide. Let's say he says remarks is positive, and he says good, and finally he gives a feedback of the software whether it was good or bad. Accordingly, it basically gives us a feedback to work with the engineer closely, understand if there is any challenges. Once the site visit is completed, this data in few minutes it will reach the web application, basically to the data entry operator. So whatever data which gets site visit gets completed moves out of the mobile application, right? He also on top of this, you will also be able to capture say comparable instances. Let's say you're coming across a paper ad saying so and so apartment is launching for so and so price. You wanted to record it as a part of your database. From here also you'll be able to do that. So I think I've tried to clarify the mobile application. So I'll stop sharing my mobile screen and I'll move to the web application. Till now, you have any clarifications which I've tried to explain? Please do raise those questions in the question and answer section. If there aren't any, I'll start sharing my web application and move to the next level. So this is the first stage. We are done with the stage. Now we will move to the document entry stage. Instead of even moving to the document entry stage, I can even go to the reviewer stage, and both the document entry stage and reviewer stage will be more or less the same. So let's assume that the site visit has got completed, and the data entry operator has also prepared the report in the reports. Okay, there is actually a distinct difference between the essential package and enthusiast package here, right? I'll show that right now. So let's say this is a new case which has come, right? Mr. Prabhakar has asked, Prabhu Kumar has actually asked for a question. Is it possible to prepare separate formats for each bank for site engineer entry? Sir, I'll show it in the admin panel. You can actually set up it is very difficult to design the list of questions based on the bank, but it can be, let's say you have 20 fixed questions. You'll be able to assign those 20 questions for the site engineer on his mobile application. It is not possible to customize it according to the bank format on the mobile application. However, when it comes to data entry, yes, it is based on the report format of the bank, right? So once the case comes to your level, so you will see this is the summary of the case, right? So let me open a different case, right? So, what is the name of the bank, and when was the site visit done? When was it completed? Who did that? So, complete summary will come here, right? So, there is a distinct difference between essential and enthusiast packages in this data entry stage, right? So, in essential, the report preparation happens outside the software, right? So whatever information which was completed by the site visit engineer will come here. You'll be able to download all the property pictures, property documents, whatever field values which were uploaded, which were captured by the site engineer on the mobile application, and yeah, the data entry operator will be able to download them and use your existing Excel and Word templates and prepare the reports. Once the report is prepared, the data entry operator will be able to upload the final report into the system and submit it for further reviewer process. When they're submitting it, they will have to additionally fill in a few details, like what is a final value which is given, what is the land extent, and what is a UDS if it is a flat or an individual property, what is the super build-up area, all this information, and what is the final price which was actually adopted. Why this information is required in case of essential CAT platform is that we have actually given the flexibility to prepare the reports outside the software, and these valuation details will, once they feed in these information, they will get stored as a in your database, and these data can be used in the future for as a valuation comparable data. I'll show you how valuation comparable is presented on a map view around the subject property, which will help you further strengthen your subject properties valuation, right? So what you're currently seeing is the screen of the Enthusiast platform. In the Enthusiast platform, the report preparation is also brought into the software, and you will be able to generate the data entry operator will be preparing the reports. This is one of the reports which was prepared, at the data entry level. Of course, there are a lot of data which is actually not filled. This is a trial account, so the data entry operator will be able to prepare the type in all these values, and he'll be able to submit the details. Here you will be able to see the list of all property documents. If at all there is any document which is actually uploaded, you'll be able to see all the property documents here. And the respective property pictures which were captured by the site engineer on the mobile application will also be seen here. This is the map view. This is where I said the valuation comparable data will get plotted. The green one is subject property. Similarly, if you have done any valuations in the past in around the subject property, it will get plotted on your Google map, right? So let's say if there was a property valuation which is actually done here, there'll be one other icon similar to this icon in a different color will pop up. Once you click that, you will know what is the property address, what is the valuation you have done, when was it done, for which, what was the purpose of the valuation, everything. And if you still want to see the report of the valuation of that subject property, you will be able to click on it and see that, right? So let's say you want to make some further changes in the report. Once you click on it, you will land on this page. All the property pictures will come up here. You can choose which property, which are the images, because there can so happen for each valuation you will be picking up 10 to 12 pictures, but maximum 6 or 8 pictures is what you will go in the report. Right? So you can choose which all images which has to be part of the report here, and you can also choose how many images has to be part of one page, whether it's 2, 4, 6, or 8. Accordingly, the property pictures will get aligned on the report when the report gets generated. Additionally, if there is any other additional property pictures which was not captured in the mobile application, you can also upload it from here. Similarly, if you're taking guideline value from the website and or you're drawing the layout of the property, that also has to be part of the report. You can upload those files from here. This will get appended in the report also. Right. So this is how the report format looks. This is an SBI report format. You will be able to make the data entry here. Similarly, all wherever possible, we have actually given drop downs to make the data entry work much more simpler and easier, and the data entry error also does not happen. So all these are available. These are information which is coming directly from the mobile application. If you remember, we filled these information for the mobile application, 5,000 square feet and extend. So whatever information is available, meaning not filled, you will be able to fill it from here. And whatever fields which are formula, wherever the formulas can be enabled, we have actually enabled those formulas, right? You can and wherever add floors or these has to be added, you'll be able to add them or delete them. So all these fields, if you look at, these are data entry to be prepared, and these are formula enabled. The final realizable value, you actually change them. You can modify them according. The values will also change. If you look at the final value in rupees, will also come automatically. These data are also getting auto-populated from the software. So most of the work in terms of the issue of aligning a report before generating a PDF is actually not there. All they just have to do is wherever information is required, they'll just have to do data entry on the respective columns and fields, and go ahead and prepare. If there's any additional remarks or observations that you want to add, that these can also be added. These are standard terms and conditions. These are also made available in the software, right? So this is one other way of presenting the valuation comparable. In less than 100 meters, have you done any valuations? What is the range of the value that you've actually done? And in less than 500 meters, what is the range that you've given value in the past? Right. So basically, it gives you a range, and you will also know as you know what value you're giving for subject property. You can refer to this range to strengthen your argument. So once everything is done, you can actually save and generate the PDF. Once it gets generated, you will be able to actually come down and view the report. This is how the report will look. Of course, it's currently on Evalo logo. It will be in your logo. So there is a provision for you to upload your logo, and you can decide what is the height of the logo. It has to be whether the logo has to be in every page or it has to be only in one page, whether you want a watermark of your logo whether you want page numbers, whether you want your internal reference numbers, all those things you will be able to decide it from yourself from the admin panel. So this is how the report gets prepared. And if you look at the property images, everything was aligned by the software by itself. The satellite image and route maps also gets auto-populated in the report by the software by itself, right? And once everything is perfectly fine, you can send it to client, which means you can just mention the email ID of the client and send it across. The report will get generated, and you will be the report will also reach the customer, right? So majorly I've tried to address right from the first starting initiation stage to data entry, to site visit stage, to data entry stage, to reviewer stage. If you look at what we've tried to do in all these stages is that we've tried to reduce the time taken at each and every stage. If you look at the data entry, meaning if you look at the initiation assigning stage, right, instead of writing it on and maintaining a register or in an Excel, you copy each and every new initiations. It gets documented only once in the software. The first time you type the name of the borrower, nobody else will you type the borrower name anywhere else. Of course, if they want to modify or make some corrections, they'll be able to do it. But similarly, at each and every stage, a task which gets repeated or a redundant task which gets done by various people at various level, we have eliminated that. So in the software, such we have actually automated close to about 96 such different tasks. So what happens is work done by one person should not be done by another person again. So what happens is the time involved or spent in preparing a report is drastically reduced, which improves the TAT of you issuing the reports to the banker, and which also saves time of each and every resource, which will eventually enable you to do more valuations in a month, right? Which means more revenue, which means more bottom line. So that's what we've tried to do in the software. And quite a lot of valuation firms across 16 states with us right from the time we launched in October last year have seen a tremendous amount of advantages from the software. Of course, it takes a little bit amount of effort in terms of implementing a software because a change is always is slightly difficult. But 2 to 3 weeks down the line, once you get used to the software, it becomes much easier. So coming back to till now you have any clarifications, I'll be able to address those questions. I'll just wait for a few minutes for you to, if you have any doubts, I will be happy to take those questions. If you don't have any further questions, I'll probably go ahead and try to explain the pricing of the Essential and Enthusiast package, which I've explained very briefly as much as possible in the software, right? So the Essential is, as I said, is a base variant. The once you visit our website, there are a whole lot of features against each and every package. Right? If you have any clarifications, I'll be really happy to connect with you after this meeting and help you through these features. And when it comes to pricing, right, there is a one-time setup fee. For Essential, the one-time setup fee is 20,000 rupees, and for the Essential, it's 40,000 rupees. And our annual recurring cost for Essential actually translates to 5,000 rupees per month, and the Essential Enthusiast is 27,900 rupees per month. Of course, we launched this product, as you all know, that just before Diwali, and we have some exciting Diwali offers. Essential will work out to about some 3,000 rupees per month. and Enthusiast will work out to 14,000 rupees per month. Basically, I'm just translating it to on a monthly basis for you to understand it pretty easily. But our billing works on an annual model. Additionally, you want to subscribe to digital signature. It's 99999, and we are also working with various banks to bring in integration, which means bankers who have a different their own platforms. Our software will also work in sync with them. So whenever they raise an initiator case, the case will seamlessly flow into our software, and whatever work that you do and prepare the report, once you prepare the report, submit them, the information will get transferred to the respective banks. It is still we're still in a very advanced stage of testing those banks and signing off those agreements with those banks. Once it is available, you will be able to subscribe to those packages. So one other thing is that from which is required from your side is essential. With respect to essential, all the data will get stored in your own Google Drive. And when it comes to Enthusiast, the data will get stored in your own cloud servers, which means we generally prefer you subscribe to Amazon Web Services cloud service, which is called EC2. Once you subscribe to the server and give it to us, we'll be able to configure and give it back to you. And from there, the data whichever gets stored is going to be in your own cloud servers, in your own storage platforms. There is a flexibility to opt between both basic and dynamic app. For now, a dynamic app was also at the same cost of 30,000 rupees. So I think I have very briefly tried to bring in the advantages of the software and how it will help, how it will work. It is very easy, very simple to easy to use. With just 1 or 2 weeks of 1 week of hand holding the entire team, you'll be able to implement the software in your entire valuation firm. It a very with very little support from our side, you'll be able to implement it seamlessly. Uh, with this, my presentation of the demo and everything is come to a end. I would, if you don't have any further questions, I would really like to have Mr. Krish Sudhakar, our promoter, who is also with us today. I will really like I would really invite him to present to you the future of the software or the future of the valuation, how the valuations can evolve, or how the software can help you in performing the valuations in the future. Please excuse me, my bad.
Thanks, Vijay. Good afternoon. I think this can be more of an interactive session because I don't have much to demonstrate. Rather, I can show you the way in which this software can eventually take you through, rather the future of valuation, which we have envisioned depending on whatever studies we had done overseas in multiple countries where we had visited. From that understanding, we are also seeing the Indian valuation industry eventually moving to that zone. It has to eventually follow the same trajectory. About 20, 25 years, whatever was happening in America has now started creeping into the Indian industry. But America took 20 years to reach wherever it is. But we may not take that many years thanks to COVID and all those stuff. There is widespread need for technological advancements, predominantly to save time and ensure there is standardized quality which is getting delivered. So this version of AVM, rather the Evalo that we have now developed, comes with a robust AVM based database architecture. Now, to just give you a brief overlook on what this whole stuff is going to be, across the world there are two broad types of machine learning models which they use for automated valuation models. Okay, one is hedonic and repeated sales method. I've just touched upon those two methods basis which the AVMs get trained. Now this can be an interactive session. You can interrupt me at any given point of time and ask me any clarifications if in case you have any. Yeah, one is the hedonic regression, the other is a repeated sales method. Each of these two are extremely good when there is there are microscopic data which is available. If you look at hedonic regression, this predicts the price in a particular locality based on the features available in a structure. Like say for example, this is more in developed countries where like European markets and in Western markets where the land price is more or less predictable. It is more or less stabilized, and it is more rational compared to the GDP and the income generation potential of that particular city or a county. As far as the so the land price giving being more linear towards the productivity of that particular city. What differentiates the price of a property is more to do with the features of the property, like the number of bedrooms, the age, the lawn, the pool sizes, etc. As far as India is concerned, we still not reached that rationality on the land pricing. We really can't say what is driving the land pricing, whether if it is the state's GDP or the city's GDP or the town's contribution to the overall state's GDP or the proximity to the country's headquarters or whatever it is. We are still not sure because we don't have structured data available with us. So hedonic regression prima facie will not be suitable for Indian condition. The other method, which even our NHB, Residex also adopts, is a repeated sales method. Here they take into account the property as a unit. They don't differentiate between land and building. The challenge out here would be the fact that there is a huge variance between the percentage of land value and building value when compared to a city and a village, or for that matter, a developed city and a developing city and an underdeveloped city. While we go downwards, the percentage of building contribution to a value will be significantly higher compared to the land component in the property value. So this manner, the repeated sales method also, when we tried to adopt it and test it out over the last 3 years, we really understood that the repeated sales method is not really taking us anywhere. The model wasn't quite successful at all. So what we did was we tried to evaluate further, and then we came up with our own indigenous approach. This is based on the forces which apply. As you may be aware, around our Earth also we have 4 broad different types of forces which apply on the Earth's circumference. The same way, we have arrived at a different kind of an approach towards the property price estimation, which is typically the magnitude, the direction, and size of that particular force, which applies on a any given land parcel, or for that example, any given point on a particular plane. Okay, in real estate valuation, we found that the desire, ability, and willingness, these are the 3 predominant forces which contribute in determining the value of a property. Now the willingness could be internal and external. The willingness in the sense that it could be serving a purpose, like say for example the kids schooling, or for that matter their close proximity to their office residences. And the second external willingness is by the governmental factors, where the government says that I'm going to come up with a development plan over here, there are going to be these changes, and basis that the property prices start fluctuating. So predominantly from our assessment over the last 3 years, we came to understand that these 4 forces are the ones which keep alternatively impacting the pricing of a property. Now, how do we get that in numbers is the question. How do we build a mathematical model which is going to be predicting that these forces, the contribution of these forces, and from that it has to arrive at a value for the property. Now, for that we broadly, for our understanding purposes, we figured out 4 different forces: centrifugal force, electromagnetic force, strong force, and weak force. Now, I've just gone about explaining what, in our opinion, these centrifugal forces could be. Now, the centrifugal force broadly represents those pockets which significantly carry the economic activity in any given area. Now, it could be even in area can be as small as 5 streets also. Even there could be some element of economic activity which comes up. Electromagnetic force are those forces which facilitate the economic activity. Like say for example, a railway junction or an airport. Okay, strong forces are small boosters, like you have for the telephonic connections. You have the boosters which are being kept to enhance the signal. The same way, there could be some forces here and there which are going to enhance the value of a property. Like say for example, a four road junction. So that not all four road junctions enable the value of a property, but some of them contribute in enhancing the value of the property. So that again determines on the LSH and ASH. Those are few terminologies which we have internally. And of course, the weak force are, say for example, which are the opposite of the strong force, which pull down the price of a property. Now, say for example, one particular stretch could become narrow all of a sudden, or there could be few slum settlements, or community domination, or factors like that, which tend to pull down the positivity or the effect of that particular centrifugal force on that locality from applying on this particular property. Now, based on these, we have built our own model algorithm, and which is based on Garuda Ganitham. This is not based on any international models which are available. This is entirely Indianized. We have done it based on these four parameters, and we have successfully tested this with one of our subscribers, and the model seems to be working fine. We have picked up two areas and tested it in those two areas. Since the results are quite positive and quite encouraging, we are now moving into the next level. How this works is, there is a mobile application, and in the mobile application, we need to just give two images. One is the elevation image, the other is the road image. This is what the model requires. And then it uses GIS, GPS, machine learning algorithms, and then A and CN are the neural network algorithms used for image analysis. And then we use fuzzy logic to arrive at many questions, which I'll show you eventually. Sorry. And of course, a mathematical algorithm which we have built internally. And with all with those two images in the back end, this GIS gets these tools are run, and the output is how this is how the output eventually looks. Now imagine these are the images which have been processed. The image algorithm automatically picks up the type of usage, whether if it is commercial or what. The locality classification it picks up, and then the type of road, and then the condition of the road, and then whether is what type of development zone that property is lying in, whether if it is in commercial or residential or institutional. This is as per the DCR, the local developmental control regulations, and then under which zone of that particular corporation does this come inside, and then whether if there is any road widening around in and around the property, whether if it falls under any coastal regulatory zone. And based on these, and also based on the price trend. Now, these are all the values that our valuation firm who partnered with us in this particular project, from their data. Now, this is the NHB's price trend, and this is the price trend as per the valuation firm in that locality over the last 10 years. This is the nominal price, and here we'll have to have the real price inflation adjusted price rise, which is of course not yet incorporated in this particular model. And as I had told you, this is where the forces play upon. Now, which is the closest centrifugal force to this particular property? Now, this is the property, and this is the force. Now, the force of this particular, I would rather call it as a magnetic point, is applies over this particular property, and that is about 76 Faltham. Now, this Faltham is a different unit of measurement which is used for birds flying. We can see this being used in aircrafts also. Now, we have adopted that mechanism because we thought this is more of a force which is applying rather than the physical movement, and then where exactly that is located, and then the shape of that particular force, and then which is the closest gravitational force which is available over here, and that is about 219 meters, and that is again in the shape of a polygon. Is there a strong force operating? Are there any boosters around it? Now, Now, if you see, there's a very close booster around this property. So this property would be fetching slightly more higher value than the other properties which are there, which are away from the booster. And is there any other weaker force, and how far is it? Now, if you look at it, the stronger force is about 20 falthams away from this property, while the weaker force is 343 falthams, so which is slightly away. And it is a one-dimensional object, and it is over here. Now, based on these and based on the contribution of two of the most critical factors, now these are the two factors which have contributed for that particular price to prevail in that locality. Now, these two factors are plotted over here. And where does this property lie in that graph? This property lies over here in this on this variable. And based on these parameters, it arrives at a value within approximate error range. This also generates an automated report. Now, none of these were done with a manual intervention. All that was done was just uploading two images, the elevation image and the road image. Rest were all entirely automated. Now, if you look at it, it picks up almost virtually everything, and all of these go into the mathematical model to show us how far or how close or how the property value gets determined, and then we get the SWOT analysis also of the property. All these are automated, and then we get the price trend in that locality and the price pattern. Now, here, how the prices have behaved in the last 12 months. Now, I once again repeat, none of these were manual. Every single letter in this report was automated based on just two images. Okay. Now, there is an error ratio around this. This is a model which is getting trained. Maybe we are 2 years ahead of time. In 2 years' time, as the model gets trained further and further, it will get even more stronger and stronger. Now, this is how the price has been trending in the last 12-month time frame. If you see, during the corona peak, the prices have fallen, and now they have started inching upwards gradually in the last 2 to 3 months time. Now, basis all these, the model estimates the rate, the land value per ground at that given latitude and longitude. Now, this is what typically a software is expected to do. It is not just for generating valuation reports. The fact is that hidden inside the valuation report is a world of data. And as valuation firms, you are generating immense knowledge in every single report. Now, what Evalo does is it stores that data in your own database, which you can at any point in time in future use it to develop such automated valuation models. Because in US and in Europe, valuation firms generate the AVMs, and the bankers use it, and the insurance companies use it. This is giving them additional source of revenue, and it is quite easy to develop these if your data is stored in a structured way. Whatever Vijay was showing you is just the way in which the report gets prepared. But what lies inside, what once you subscribe to Evalo, you will be having your own database in your cloud server. In that database, the data will be stored in proper way, in a structured manner, so that at any point of time you can download it, you can see what is there, you can use statisticians to generate to develop a model based on that. You can tweak things around it, and you can have your own automated valuation model. So report generation is the present agenda, but in our opinion, the future for all our valuation professionals will be an automated valuation model, and Evalo does exactly that. We not only help you give an interface to generate a report that 1,000 people are there in the market to do it, but we are actually preparing you for the future, and whereby you would be able to generate your own AVMs anytime in future. We are at least 1.5 to 2 years ahead of schedule. Many companies from abroad have come and tried to develop this in India, but they've not been able to do it simply because data was not available. But now, in the last 1 year, if you look at our journey itself, from about 16 states, we've got close to more than 100 subscribers who have come on board. They are all generating data for their own purposes. In 2 to 3 years' time, they would all be able to develop AVMs, and we ourselves will help them in generating one, because we have already done one. we have signed up with the third valuation firm. We are partnering with them in developing this AVM, that is from Bangalore. So city wise, we will be signing up with firms to develop their own AVM, so that this starts giving them additional source of revenue. So Evalo prepares you for the future. It is not just for the present. At present, yeah, the report making is a task. We are making it easier for you, but preparing you for the future. Now, I am open for any questions or doubts. If you have any, you may go ahead and ask me if you have any doubts around this. Thank you, sir. Ulanathan, sir, thank you very much. I'm open to questions because this is a very nice area. So far, no one has actually been able to show this in our country. Now, we would really want to showcase this to more valuation professionals so that they start adopting software not just for report generation but for the future. Yeah, Vijay would be able to share it with you, sir. Now, any other questions around this? The world lies here. The world lies exactly in automated valuation model. It is not that it is going to replace the valuation professional. Please understand, there's a small difference out here. If you look at this particular report also, you have the price trends which have come here, and this is not, the model has not picked up these questions. These data comes from the valuation firm. The model keeps learning from the data that is received from the valuation firms. Now, our subscribers who continue to do for the bankers, they continue to do visits. And as and when they do visit, this data is shared with this model, and this model keeps updating itself. Now, just like how a human brain learns that more and more you keep receiving about a particular locality on a price shift, say 10,000 rupees per SFT to 12,000 rupees, we are not going to change immediately. We will require at least 10, 12 samples to come and sit so that we recalibrate this particular area from 10,000 to 12,000. The same way, the model also learns from the inputs that you give it. Without the valuation firms, professionals' input, this would not work at all. So this model is not going to replace, but all we are trying to say is this is going to be an additional source of income, because not all valuations in your city or state come to you. There are still many other valuers who render valuation opinions, but this model can be given to the banker directly. So he can use it for valuation given to any other valuation firm, because this is agnostic. This does not depend on which valuation firm. It does not need a human being to go. It saves time for the banker. And second, it also helps him derive more comfort. You're giving your client more comfort based on your knowledge which you have generated over X number of years, and which you're continuing to upgrade yourself with the upgrades in the market developments. So let me just put that element of doubt clear. It is not going to replace the valuation profession. In fact, valuation professionals are the people who actually train this model. We just give the mathematical formula. You are the ones who will be giving the inputs for that to get trained.
Krish. Professor Kaushal, he has a question. Yes,
Yeah,
Professor, please go ahead.
Very good presentation, but I was a bit busy. I could not catch up. I just entered and I just saw it is being ended. So I raised my hand. Could I get the link of the recording later on, sir?
Sure, sure. We'll have it.
And second one is, are you taking Calcutta in the loop?
So yes, sir. Yes, sir. This can be used pan India. The platform is agnostic to any city or state. So you can use it in Calcutta also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Fine, good. So we are actually quite happy here. The response that we've been receiving and the pace at which the subscription has been increasing is indeed astounding. We are quite happy. And the subscribers, the software is something even Google can't say that they are always perfect. We are not claiming that we are perfect. We are developing. In the last 1 year, we have changed our software 4 times. We are upgrading constantly, because the model need of our subscribers have changed. Pre-corona, the need was very different. Post-corona, the need is completely different. Now the expectation of our subscribers has changed significantly. We are upgrading, constantly upgrading. In fact, our plans for the next 2 years is ready. We are not claiming the software is complete in all respects, but we have made a beginning, and it's been successful so far. And we, as and when the subscribers keep giving us inputs on this can be better, that can be better, you need to introduce this or that, we have been here listening to them and improvising the product. So we wish to have more subscribers from across the country, so that the product becomes more robust. And we are in the process of signing up with banking institutions, so that they start routing their requests through Evalo, and we will be passing it on to the subscribers directly. So this ways we are trying to generate additional sources of revenue for the valuation firms. We have introduced Evalo Connect, where someone in Delhi can get a valuation done in Kanyakumari through the you subscribers in Evalo. So you don't need to miss out on any valuation opportunity which comes up in your way. Now, these are all some of the initiatives which we are coming up with, predominantly to ease the process of doing valuation. Valuation is actually a very nice subject, a beautiful subject. As professionals, you all enjoy it. Now we are trying to just make the business process of valuation a little more easier, and that's the whole fun in this game. And so far, we've been touch wood, going good, and wish to have you all on board with us very soon. Right. I think Vijay, I'm done.
Oh, very nice. It was really nice presentation. Thank you so much, Mr. Krish. And I really thank one and all the participants who took time off on a Sunday and joined us. It's been a real great pleasure. I would be really happy to take your questions or clarify all your questions on. You can just reach out to me on 909-404-3330. This contact number is also available on our website. Right. You can find my contact number. It's 909-404-3330. You can also write to us at robin@evalo.in. Our website is evalo.in. I'll really be happy to help you on board on Evalo platform, and would really wish to enjoy the benefits what our existing customers have already seen in terms of stats, in terms of improvement in the quality, and in terms of improvement in the control over their business. I really look forward to have you on board. Thank you so much.